Community Committee, Libraries 2025 Facilities Plan. We're going to defer this and refer it back to community boards for their further input. So, and I think, Yanni, you'd like to move that?
We're not deferring it, we're just sending it to community boards for a formal response. There's been some informal discussion with community boards, but the boards have expressed a desire to have a formal chance to consider it, and I think that's really good. I think the other reason that makes a lot of sense is given the decisions from the previous facilities rebuild prioritisation, there's a few things that could be added just to give a bit more of a clearer, up-to-date picture. So I'm happy to move that this report is formally referred to community boards for consideration. Yeah,
and seconded by Phil Clearwater. I'll just make the point too that following on from the earlier discussion, it did go back to Shirley Papanui on the Redwood Belfast issue, and they wanted to have it considered by their whole board. So it actually makes good sense that they go back to all of the community boards for their no, not for a decision, that this report is referred, not deferred, to the community boards for their consideration. For their formal consideration. And put the word for in after boards. That this report is forward, yeah. Right, so that's been moved by Yanni, seconded by Phil Clearwater. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. The next part A is the it's the Arts Update Report, and the motion is that the report be received, and that be Yanni Johansson.
Actually, a committee recommendation. So happy to support the report being received. But what we wanted was that a formal report prepared that provides information on extending the Creative Industry Support Fund to wider than the Central City. You recall that we've spent a lot of money on doing transitional projects in the Central City, but there was a desire by the committee to look at how we could possibly extend that out for some other areas.
Is that our fund, or is that the one that's centrally funded?
No, that's our fund.
Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to also just make a brief comment on this report, just to say we heard with CDC around, how good Recover Canterbury was. I just would like to place on record that I think the creative industry support that the council and the government have provided post-earthquake has been a really outstanding example of a collaborative, good, positive working relationship, and also has made a real difference and impact in our city, both locally and nationally and also internationally. And we were given a really nice presentation at the committee just to show the different projects that have been as a result of this funding and collaboration. And I think it's something we should be incredibly proud of as a city. So just wanted to place on that on record.
Well, I mean, that is actually the sort of thing that I think that we should record formally by way of resolution, and that will then enable me to sort of refer to that, because I think that we should write to those involved in that collaboration and express that view, because it's a view that I share, and it's really important knowing in a post-disaster environment that the creative industries, the ones that really get their juices going, they're the ones who absolutely lead often the social recovery, but also elements of the economic recovery as well. So I just think that it's incredibly well represented. So how would we put that, Yanni, to capture what you just said?
It's a little bit tricky in that there's really two different groups of people. There's the funders, which is probably the easy job, really, just giving away the money. But I think the harder job is the people that actually make these projects happen. And so I think you really need to recognise both the contribution that the different agencies have made, but also the contribution that a number of local citizens and sometimes not local citizens have made as well. So it's a bit tricky to capture that in one resolution.
That the council places on record its appreciation for the collaborative approach between funders and
Yeah, I think it's
central government and local government, and the wider arts community,
and the wider
and their supporters, because it's not just those that are involved in the industry; it's their supporters, in making. In supporting the recovery. That's enough, isn't it, to sort of capture the mood?
Yeah, I think it's more than recovery, but yeah, that's fine.
Well, what?
I think in supporting the city post earthquake.
Okay, in supporting the city post the earthquake. Yeah. Yep, that's great. So I'll Yanni will move that, and Andrew will second it, and we'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. And now we move to the future tunnel event. Yanni, you want to move that?
Thank you. This is
well. Who wants to second it? Are you keen for this, Andrew Turner?
There was one change that I considered that we might wish to make, which just rather than being an annual event, just turning it into a regular event, or maybe just an ongoing event. So it was just, it might be difficult to do it every year, but actually the idea of doing it every so often was a regular event. Although, I think part of the attraction is that it's not a regular event, so it gives people an opportunity. So, yeah. So.
I know that the cyclists would like it closed between 8 and 9 every Sunday morning, but
really just to reflect that, I thought that event was a real positive for the city, and I think there's a real desire for us to encourage people to get involved in active recreation, and there used to be a regular cycle event, I think, through, and you could skateboard and rollerblade through, so there would need to be some work done around it. The staff advice was that this was the best way to proceed, that we try and organise a meeting to talk through what's possible with the people that are, obviously have the most at stake around making it happen. So I'm really supportive of doing that. I'm really open-minded to what format and what timing or sequencing the event will have. But I did think it provided a wonderful boost for Littleton. It provided a wonderful boost for the city, and I think it was really something that we should look at doing.
Well, maybe you want to add the Littleton community into that, because into the meeting,
Well, that's why we had the chair of the 2 community boards, so that this was just to start looking at what was possible, and then I think as it progressed, you'd obviously involve more people. Yeah,
I mean, because it is a terrible imposition on the port company when there is a ship in port, like for a lengthy period of time. But I have to say that the idea of having something at the other end, the wonderful market day they had, and if you can organise the weather in advance, it's a really good idea too.
Nicely to our cycleways project, our major cycleways, and that we will have a major cycleway going from Heathcote to the central city. So it's a really exciting. It could be a really exciting feature of the things that we're trying to do as a city in terms of promoting active recreation.
That's true, but it also seems to me that it's got some wider potential. So anyway, so rather than an annual event, we're changing it to a regular event. Yep. All right. So and by the council request a meeting, I'm quite happy for that to be, delegated to the. I don't know, the Environment Transport Committee, or whether you want it just the 4 community. It's really 5. Well, I suppose which communities.
I probably think it's just a case of a local council from each of the wards, so maybe Andrew, myself, and then just the relevant community chairs.
Does Spraden Heathcote not cover Heathcote?
It's just on the boundary.
So why is it called Spraden Heathcote? Oh, we'll fix that up in the We'll fix that up in the representation review. All right. So that, well, that then well, why don't we just delegate it to Yanni, Andrew, to that with, be arranged with, Yanni Johansson and Andrew Turner. And I think, the board chairs are already there. And I just think, do you want to be added, Phil, as well, with your transport hat on and cycleways and all of that?
It's got some big NZTA and Ford.
Yeah, and Phil Clearwater. Yep. Right. And I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. And then Councillor Johansson would like to move. And who would like to second that resolution that we receive the report? Andrew Turner. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. Good work. Next item.